can the Bible actually be trusted? Or is it just another ancient collection of stories? That question has been debated for centuries. But if you set aside assumptions and look carefully at the evidence, a clearer picture begins to emerge. The first thing to examine is whether the text itself has been preserved accurately over time. Because if the message has been changed or distorted, then everything built on it becomes unstable. When it comes to textual reliability, the Bible stands in an unusually strong position compared to other ancient writings. The Old Testament is supported by discoveries like the Dead Sea Scrolls, which show that books such as Isaiah were copied with remarkable consistency across many centuries. The New Testament is preserved in thousands of manuscripts, including early fragments like the Rylands Library Papyrus P52 from the early 2nd century AD. This allows scholars to compare copies from different regions and time periods and reconstruct the original wording with a high degree of confidence. From a textual standpoint, we can be reasonably certain that what we are reading today closely reflects what was originally written. But that leads to a deeper question. Even if we know what the authors wrote, does that mean what they wrote is true? To answer that, the next step is to examine the historical foundation of the Bible. A reliable text still has to correspond to real events, real people, and real places. And in this area, the Bible shows a consistent connection to verifiable history. Figures like Pontius Pilate are confirmed by archaeological evidence, and inscriptions such as the Tel Dan stele provide external reference points for the line of King David. The detailed descriptions found in books like the Gospel of Luke consistently align with what historians know about the 1st century AD. This suggests that the authors were grounded in a real historical context. Another critical factor is timing. The New Testament was written within decades of the events it describes, placing it within living memory. Early statements preserved in the letters of Paul show that central beliefs appeared very early. This makes large-scale legend building far less likely. There is also a more subtle category of evidence. The Bible includes details that do not serve the interests of its central figures. Peter is described as denying Jesus at a crucial moment, and the disciples are often portrayed as fearful and confused. In a culture where women's testimony carried less weight, they are recorded as the first witnesses to the empty tomb. These are not the kinds of details you would expect in a fabricated story. They suggest the authors were preserving what they believed to be true, even when it was inconvenient. The behavior of the early followers adds another dimension. The message spread rapidly despite opposition, and many endured suffering without abandoning their claims. While people can die for something false, they rarely die for something they know is false. This suggests they genuinely believed what they were proclaiming. Another line of argument involves prophecy. Christians point to passages like Isaiah 53 and Psalm 22 and see parallels with the life of Jesus Christ. But interpretation varies, and not all scholars agree on how these texts should be understood. Finally, there is the question of overall coherence. The Bible presents a continuous narrative across centuries, moving from creation to human failure to redemption and restoration. It shows consistency, but also complexity, with differences that require careful interpretation. When all of this is considered together, the Bible stands as a text that is well preserved, historically grounded, and closely tied to the time periods it describes. But its central claims go beyond what history alone can prove, and that leaves one final question. What do you do if it's telling the truth? Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And while you're here, click on the video you see on screen to keep watching. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps content like this coming. I'll see you in the next one.